This is the Yankees Postcast, your instant game reaction for the New York Yankees. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, Yanks had everything lined up to stop their losing skid. They're in Texas facing the Rangers in the bottom of the ninth inning in a 5-4 game. Yanks up a run. Joc Pederson changes that with one swing off Devin Williams. 5-5, we're going to extras. Of course, Yanks don't score in the top of the 10th. And of course, Josh Jung, a walk-off 3-run shot in the bottom of the 10th off Jake Bird. Yanks losing 10, 8-5. They've now lost 4 in a row. Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz. Everything from TV to web to radio. Glad to have you aboard. Please follow me on X as well, at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees Postcast, both on the Locked On Yankees YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The Postcast gives you a chance to chat after every single Yankee game. That's what we do here. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Before we begin, this episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. Use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. And away we go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, the Yanks seem to do everything they can to lose games, and they do so in excruciating fashion tonight. Another example, just another chapter in the book of collapses this year. Considering the way the Yankees have been losing games of late, it's amazing they still have 60 wins on the season and are comfortably above 500 and in a playoff spot. But for how long? The Red Sox won tonight, so they pick up a game on the Yankees. Blue Jays are hammering the Rockies right now in Denver. They're going to win, so the Yanks will lose a game to Toronto and Boston in the division. They'll also lose a game to the Texas Rangers, who, believe it or not, are now just a game and a half behind the Yankees in the wild card race. So the Yanks have company in the wild card race. They've obviously given up both first and second place in the division, and things just keep getting worse. Again, we'll start at the top with Max Fried, who was okay. Beginning to worry a little bit about Max Fried. Now, obviously, he was dominant really for the first half of the season. As of late, he has not been great. In fact, in his last 6 starts, his ERA north of 6. Unfortunately, more of the same today, despite the fact that he grinded through 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a season-high 105 pitches. His ERA remains below 3 on the season, but it's up to 2.78. Now, as we said, the Yankees had this lined up perfectly. It wasn't a great day or great night for Max Fried. However, he gets through 5. The Yanks have a lead 5-4. Luke Weaver, a perfect inning in the 6th. Camilo Doval, a scoreless inning in the 7th. David Bednar, a scoreless inning in the 8th. And then we get to Devin Williams, who amazingly let Joc Pederson back into an at-bat. An at-bat that featured a 126 hitter coming in. His OPS under 450 for the year. This is a guy that, one, barely plays, and when he does, he usually stinks. No offense to Joc Pederson, but we're telling it like it is. Point being, Devin Williams had no business allowing that home run to Joc Pederson. Quite frankly, one of the worst hitters in baseball today. So again, frustrating from top to bottom. Weaver, Doval, Bednar, they all pitched well. In fact, at one point, the previous 12 batters to the Joc Pederson home run were all retired in a row. So the Yankees had everything lined up exactly the way they, one, want it, and two, designed it. Unfortunately, there's a lack of execution. And that is specifically with Devin Williams, who, believe it or not, blows just his third save of the year. However, he's been not great. It was the first base runner allowed by the Yankees bullpen was the Pederson home run. Williams has now allowed an earned run in 3 straight games. He's allowed at least 1 earned run in 6 of his last 12 outings. Now, obviously, when a closer blows it in a huge spot, your first thought is, who's going to replace the closer? Well, the Yankees certainly have a plethora of options to replace Devin Williams if they feel the need. Now, what a roller coaster it's been in that closer's spot really all season long. We were told you about Williams' ERA really through the first 6 weeks of the season, over 10. He's been obviously much better, but his season ERA still above 5 after today's home run. So again, how does this shake out, specifically the back end of the bullpen moving forward? Really interesting times for Aaron Boone. Also got to wonder if Aaron Boone's the guy to be making these decisions. Now, look, Yanks have played 113 games, so there's roughly 50 games left to play. Not a lot of time left. It's now a race. The question is, do they make a move? And I'm not suggesting they will. I'm not suggesting they should. I'm just curious. How late is too late? 1, for the manager, and 2, for the team to fire the manager. Again, these are execution mistakes. So you can't really get on Aaron Boone. He put his team in a position to win. They did exactly that, and they blew it. So how is that on Aaron Boone? Excellent question. The only reason I brought it up is because things are spiraling out of control so quickly now. You got to wonder, especially after the trade deadline in which the Yankees are now 0-4, and everybody loved the moves they made, yours truly included. But again, something's got to give. Something has to happen. Now, the miscues and the mistakes were subtle tonight at most. So at least we can put that behind us as far as an excuse for the loss tonight. The problem is, if you fix the mistakes, but the execution is poor, you're still going to lose. So be it the mistakes, usually turns into losses, and poor execution, which is exactly what tonight was. Meanwhile, the Yanks once again got off to a hot start. It was 3-0 after an inning and a half. However, Fried coughed up that lead by giving up all 4 of the runs he served up in the second inning. In fact, the Rangers only scored in the second before scoring in the 9th and then 10th on the Pederson and Jung home runs, respectively. So again, 8-5, the final score in 10. The Yanks in extras now on the road this season are 0-6. We had everything lined up to tell you that Max Fried is the stopper on the team. The Yanks, when he starts after a loss before today, were 11-2. So usually when Max Fried steps up after a loss, it's a win. Not tonight. Again, the Yanks are now 11-3 when Max Fried pitches following a loss. Interesting to note, Max Fried pitched on an extra day's rest. Not much to say there. By the way, that second inning cost him 35 pitches. Now, he's settled down nicely. In fact, surprised to see that he struck out 7 in just 5 innings. However, still has the filthy stuff, just needs to harness it somehow. Again, the Yanks trailed 4-3 before Giancarlo Stanton did it again. Stanton, 4 of his last 6 home runs have given the Yankees a lead. Tonight turned a 4-3 game into a 5-4 game. He now has 6 home runs in his last 12 games. Now, the real problem moving forward is, and we all know it, Where does Stanton play when Judge comes back? And of course, what do you know? There's a chance Judge comes back tomorrow. Very interesting times because Aaron Boone says when Judge comes back, he will be the DH. Here's the rub. Yanks have 2 more games in Texas on the turf where Boone said without any sliver of a doubt that Stanton will not be playing the field in Texas. So if Judge returns tomorrow and plays Tuesday and Wednesday, then there's an off day on Thursday. You won't see Stanton until Friday at the earliest, unless Judge doesn't DH both days. He sits one of them because, again, he's not going to play the field. He'll start throwing in the coming days. But again, he was with the team tonight in Texas, was Aaron Judge. Keep our fingers crossed, knock on wood, that he can get back into the lineup tomorrow. But again, it's the problem we sort of put off, and now we realize we need to pay attention to it, and that's what to do with Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton is a DH. He's the prototypical DH right now. He can't run, he can't throw, he can't move, but he can hit. And he hit an absolute laser of a home run today. And again, it comes in a loss. Yanks now 60-53. They're 26-31 away. We'll tell you more about the Judge situation, and the Yanks made a signing today. We'll tell you who when we return. All right, time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course, or even off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders either. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. All right, up next, summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, we are back, and we will wait no longer for this.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Amazingly, it's Giancarlo Stanton again. The home run seemingly gave the Yankees a win. Well, it gave them a lead at the very least. It turned a 4-3 deficit into a 5-4 lead. That was in the fourth inning. It would remain 5-4 all the way into the bottom of the ninth inning. When we know what happened, Joc Pederson hits the home run. An inning later, Jung hits a home run, and it's all over. Regardless, Stanton at it again. He's now hitting .270. He's got 10 home runs and 28 RBIs. 4 of his last 6 home runs have given the Yankees a lead, and he's got 6 home runs in the last 12 games. So kudos to Giancarlo Stanton. And again, it brings us to the point where we don't have a clue how to figure out the problem. If everything goes the way we think, Judge comes back and DHs the next 2 days, you will not see Giancarlo Stanton starting at least. You might see him pinch hitting, but you will not see him starting again until Friday because, again, Tuesday and Wednesday, Judge will be the DH. Thursday, off game. So, again, you might not see Giancarlo Stanton until Friday. The Yankees made it official earlier today. They signed Kenta Maeda to a minor league deal. He'll head to AAA, just some obvious protection at the back of the rotation. Again, Kenta Maeda, the former Twin, is now a member of the Yankees organization, and he'll head to AAA. Probables for the Yankees-Rangers series on Tuesday and Wednesday. It gets no easier for the Yanks. Nate Eovaldi, the former Yankee, has been great. He'll go up against Will Warren tomorrow. And then Jack Leiter against Carlos Rodon on Wednesday. That's an afternoon game. And then it's 3 at home with Houston and 3 with Minnesota. Houston starts Friday night. Minnesota will start next Monday. But again, 8-5, the final score. Yanks lose a game to the Blue Jays. They lose a game to the Red Sox. They lose a game to the Rangers. In fact, the Yanks are now just a game and a half in front of the Rangers for a playoff spot, a wild card spot. And again, the Yanks are in third place in the division. Red Sox won. The Blue Jays will win. They were up big on the Rockies in Denver. So again, Yanks now trailing big time. All right, thanks for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Yankees, Stacey Goutsoulias and Brian McKeon. They're the best. So follow, subscribe, and enjoy. Again, Yanks lose it 8-5. They had a 5-4 lead into the ninth. Devin Williams couldn't hold it. Jake Bird couldn't hold it in the 10th either. And the Yanks, again, are now 60-53. Again, tomorrow, same time, 8:05 first pitch from Texas. We'll be with you immediately following. Until then, see ya.